into it. Lamar Peters addresses Latin Davis call out and breaks down Uncle School 1v1. It's 43 minutes. I don't know if I'm gonna react to the whole thing though, but we gonna look at it. We're gonna look at it.
I feel like that'll be a big win for me. You know what I'm saying? Rather, regardless of what everybody else think of with the school block, whatever, I'm not going off of the school blocks. I'm talking about me. I think that would be a big win for me.
Why do you think some people are are we in this space where or in this type of particular juncture in time where they'll look at the school boss and be like, yeah, I don't have to play him now? Why do you think people are like that?
I mean, that's to me, that's scary.
LP in the building, chat. I need W's in the chat for LP. We have a great night of talk right here, man. LP is not gonna be the only person pulling up tonight. I'm waiting for a few other people.
Yo, what's up?
I'm waiting for a few other people. Go ahead, my brother. My first question is, you know what I'm saying? I always gotta ask how you doing, what's going on, what you got going on, how you been feeling. You know what I'm saying? We ain't talking a minute on YouTube.
Yeah, getting better, though, a lot better. Whole different guy from last time they saw me, so shit. When they see that, they'll be like, damn, okay, I see the difference.
What have you picked up on since like the pay-per-view, like in terms of like one-on-one, like what have you been doing differently since then?
It's really with me, I ain't gonna lie, I went back to some of my old roots, like, for you see me in high school, like, I just shoot the bitch from hella far. So I went back to the gym working on that, you know what I'm saying, picking my range back up, trying to make it tough on the defense when they defended me. So now I'm gonna make them shit. You gotta come to half court. I'm shooting that shit, and we're gonna shoot at a high clip because we're gonna work on it. So I feel like whenever I get somebody weighed out there, I feel like they always at my mercy. And you know what I'm saying. First and foremost is always was the conditioning. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Feeling different in the conditioning, how long the games are. So got a lot better with that since then. And really just stacking days, game. That's all I've been doing.
Yeah. What have what I want to ask you this real quick. How did the Latin Davis thing come about? Let them know because I know, but I want you to let them know how.
Nah, cause I know they think it's me. They think I went looking for Latin.
Yeah.
Latin came found me.
Yeah.
And it was a group FaceTime thing. You was on there, Mike Harden, Ken was on there. You know what I'm saying? Ness was with me, Scar was with me on this side. So
yeah.
Latin, you know what I'm saying? Latin definitely been balling for a while now. That Latin been getting to it. And shit, I think he's just looking at his resume, so he called me out. So it's like, you know what I'm on. I'm walking shit down right now. You know what I'm saying? I done picked it up. We 2-1 now, so I done picked that up. But I just been grinding, trying to, you know what I'm saying? So he want to see me. I definitely want to see him for
now?
sure.
What you see in this game?
Oh yeah,
wait, hold up.
Pure score, tough.
Yeah,
hold up. He says 2-1.
Grinding, trying to, you know what I'm saying? So he want to see me. I definitely want to see him for sure. So he called me out. So it's like, you know what I'm on. I'm walking shit down right now. You know what I'm saying? I done picked it up.
I'm walking
we
shit
2-1 now, so I done picked that up.
So he did say 2-1. Who did he play? He must have played somebody from like a different 1v1 league.
But I just been grinding, trying to, you know what I'm saying? So he want to see me. I definitely want to see him for sure.
What you see in this game?
Oh yeah, pure score, tough.
Yeah.
3-level score, get to the midi, gets to his step back, get his threes off, quick first step. Like he really a sharp scorer, like for real. Like he one of them guys you really gotta be disciplined with on.
God damn, I be hating his like if it wasn't that loud, then like I wouldn't even be mad at it.
Defense.
Yeah.
Like cause he really could score at a high level. I ain't gonna cap on him.
Yeah. What have you seen? What have you seen within this space? Like, because I know you say you've been watching it for a while, but what have you been seeing within this space? Like since you've been in it, like you in it now. Like this is, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's a part of it.
What I seen, it's really for me. Like, shit, I know all these guys were skilled. Like, I knew they were skilled for sure. But seeing like a lot of these guys will to win, like how well conditioned they are, tough shot making. Like it was really a thing to see, like in real time. You feel me?
Yeah.
So, but you always can see like the skill of the players was there.
Yeah.
But I still think I'm, you know what I'm saying? For sure, still think I'm different. But you see it, you see those things, and shit with me, I'm always gonna go with accountability. You know what I'm saying? I should have definitely showed up in way more shape for my pay-per-view game. Um, and it's me, just this is me. I feel like School came in his best shape. I showed up my worst shape.
Mm-hmm.
He gave me his best game. I feel like I gave him my worst game, and that's no disrespect to him. Give him respect. Better man won that night, and that just made me get to the drawing board
Yeah.
and you know what I'm saying, get to the drawing board and made me want to just get in better shape because that's all on me. You got to be accountable. You know what I'm saying? So I
Yeah.
can't take nothing from him and get his victory, but I picked up on some shit and seen. Oh, another thing is the antics, like when they be playing, like when they won't catch their breath. I've been peeping. I've been watching how, you know what I'm saying? So
I was waiting on you to say something like that.
I've been watching, like,
Yeah.
And
oh,
you got to tie your shoe. You got to untie your shoe and then tie your shoe again. Yeah.
give me that towel. I need to wipe my face, hold on, the ball slippery. Like, I've been picking up now. I've been learning because, yeah, all that's real important.
Bro, I done played, nigga, get a bucket, walk around the whole 3-point line,
No,
talking
no,
to
no,
the
not this side,
fans.
not this side, not this side. No,
Yeah.
come on that side, come on that side. Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
catching
for
my
sure.
breath, bro. I'm catching my
Yeah.
breath, bro. Bro, what have you seen on the TNC side lately, bro? Have you been catching any of the TNC games, and what have you been seeing from that?
No, I'm always tapping with the TNC side for sure, cause
Yeah.
definitely got some certified killers. Like for sure, like Latin. I've been seeing what
Yeah.
Latin been doing. For sure, seeing what King doing. Um, who else? I'm always tapped in with Tay.
Yeah.
Man, I ain't gonna lie, it's really hectic over there right now. I ain't gonna lie, a lot of people getting after it. My
Yeah.
guy Saint, you know what I'm saying? He coming off a tough one to Latin, but shit, like we say, Latin is, you know what I'm saying, well proven. He's
Mm-hmm.
really that guy. So yeah.
Brother, I want to actually let the people know what you have been doing condition wise on a daily basis. Like give them like
I've been
a small dose.
daily well, my day been starting at 6 a.m. with as far as weights, running, levies, stadiums.
Yeah.
Mm.
Uh, take a nap, back at it about 12:30 noon.
Yeah.
Gym, working, a lot of shots.
Mm.
Then we back at it at 7 p.m. Another workout, but then we do a lot of sparring. You know what I'm saying? I get a lot of guys in there, different sizes. You know what I'm saying? Like 6'5", 6'6". Like to go against the bigger guys. You know what I'm saying? To make it a little more difficult. But that be my days, like 5 to 6 days a week. Just a lot of dog work, a lot of, you know what I'm saying? Just really pushing myself and fight through it. Because with the one-on-one scene, what you got to understand, it's always gonna be like uphill battle. No matter if you start out 17-0 or you down 0 to 17. It's
Yeah.
still gonna be an uphill battle when you're trying to win a game against a good player. So I picked that up. So the shit I've been doing is definitely showing. It's definitely looking a lot better. They had a few guys in the gym. We just had the OTD event. Like, man, I ain't gonna lie, you look way better controlling your breathing wise, getting through your one-on-one games, not looking as tired. So the shit's working, but it's also a process. So with every game, I feel my legs getting back under me and back under me. I'm jumping higher, I'm moving quicker.
Mm.
And shit, once they see so I picked up 2 solid wins that they're here about. Fuck,
Okay.
you know,
So
and
he did.
just showing them my will to come always back. Cause both of those games I started down. Both of those games I was down in the hole, and just showing them like I could get back, I could fight through it, and I understand that's always an uphill battle. That's what I was saying earlier.
Uh, my next question for you will be comparing to your in shape, how you was at Mississippi State. Can you compare it a little bit? Like, is it that level
At
of in
college,
shape, or yeah,
you gotta think about it. At that time, that's a different shape because at that time 19, 20.
yeah,
19, 20, and then when I left Mississippi State, we come straight out of the tournament. I get straight ready for pre-jazz, so that probably was the best I ever been.
yeah,
As far as like my pro career, yeah, I'm real close. As far as my pro career, I'm real close. A few more steps, but it's enough to get me through what I got to do right now.
Okay.
yeah,
It's enough for sure. Way better from the. Yeah, I think like I said, bro.
Nah,
Like, and
bro.
then the people understand what the people be saying, like the
Bro.
fans. Oh, this nigga lost to School, but you understand. School is a proven guy in his ground. He's proven. He's in a lot of people top 5, bro.
I told you last
School's
time.
30-26. Yeah, like I'm walking that bitch and lost 30.
I told you last time. It's your damn lotion, bro. Oh, you had all week. Bro. I ain't hearing it.
16.
But hold on. I gotta hold your car.
He's proven. He's in a lot of people top 5. Bro, the score's 30-26. Yeah, like I walked in that bitch and lost 30-16.
But hold on. I gotta hold your accountable though. You was
No,
popping
listen, look.
crazy.
But look what I'm
You
saying,
was
though. Look what I'm
popping
saying. I
crazy.
listen. Look what I'm saying. I've been talking crazy.
Yeah.
I was talking crazy.
Yeah.
But don't understand that. I was talking crazy. But look, I could have laid down. The score was 26-16. I could have. A lot of niggas laying down, quitting. A lot of niggas ain't gonna get through it.
It was 26-16.
26-18. A lot of niggas ain't gonna get through that. A lot of people ain't gonna allow to fight back. A lot of niggas, man, you know what? I'm done. I still walked the nigga down. And I still feel like a few of them calls at the end of the game, like on 3-pointers, the last 2, like that shit shouldn't have been called. I feel like on the game when they shot, that took some of my aggressiveness away. When it was 28-26, I done put him on a free throw line back-to-back times. So it's like, I don't want to lose the game by free throws. I at least want him to take a shot attempt. You feel me? So, but don't act like I walked in that bitch and got mopped. Don't act like y'all ain't see the flashes. Don't act like y'all ain't see the game. But it's accountability. And I understand that part, but it's like, he know. Basketball fans know. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, we good. For real. I ain't really fucked up about it. Like, all that did was make me more hungrier. Take the accountability, want to get better, and understand, all right, look, don't walk in and underestimate nobody. Walk in this bitch, treat everybody like they're the best in the world, and come to compete. That's why I say I still get Google respect. He handled his business, but fuck. If you're in the gym with me, you'll see soon, you know what I'm saying? And that's why Latin come in there, because he got to catch the straight bullet. It ain't even straight bullet, head up, because you can ask me out. But I also feel like Latin is like a little too small. They're a little too small.
Where
That's how I feel.
did you watch the Nets and Scoop game at all?
Yeah, of course. You know,
What you
fucking
thought
on
about
that,
it?
man.
What you thought about it?
Dog fight.
Yeah.
Dog fight. And then, shit, you saw the last layup school misses. It's crazy. For the game. For the game.
Shit!
Tough.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's talk about it. That nigga Scoop blew the game winning lay. The game winning layup? Bro, I'm talking about short arm the fuck out of it. Like, come on, talk to me.
Dog fight. And then, shit, you saw the last layup school misses. It's crazy. For the game. For the game.
Shit!
Tough.
Yeah,
It was
bro.
like, ooh.
He should be. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Rich, if he make that layup, bro, he top 3 to me, bro. Like if he make that layup, that day
Yeah,
he top 3.
if he beat Ness, because Ness one of them fucking ones. Ness is proven,
bro.
and Ness is showing time and time and time again why Ness should be mentioned in that top 3. Like he's showing you why, because he already one of them small guards.
Yeah.
He don't duck no wreck. He playing against whoever jump in front of him. So it's like it's got to be some respect. But him and School had a real dog fight. You know what I'm saying? That's how basketball go. Every dog had his day. So it's like definitely watch the game. It was a great game. Came down to the wire. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And per usual, when you watch basketball, whoever win that day was always the better man to me. Don't even matter.
Yeah.
How you got it done, what you did to get it done. At the end of the day, whatever you did it better than other man to get the job done.
LP, man, what I gotta do to get you on the TNC side, man, just for a season or for something like that, man? What I gotta do, man? What we gotta do, man?
I'll tell the people, look, I'll tell all the people, and I'll say it out in front of everybody. Look, I respect everything about the space. From TNC, OTD, Ball is Life, everything. I'm money line, bro. Like I'm Roman. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if Tennessee got something, I'm available, I'm there. OTD got something, I'm available, I'm there. I'm not getting double booked, and I'm not gonna play no games. Ball's Life got something, I'm available, I'm there. You know what I'm saying? Because we still do this shit at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? We still do this shit to help our families. We still doing this shit to make money, you know what I'm saying? Be financially stable. So it's like, I see what everybody have going on. Everybody have a great platform, and everybody brings something different. Like, I want to play everywhere. Like, whenever I'm free, like, I don't never want to just sit down. Like, if I'm sitting at the crib and Tennessee got some shit going on and I could be there, I'm there.
Yeah.
If OTD got something going on
no cap,
and I'm
though.
available, I'm there. Same thing
cap,
about life. So it's like, but it's a lot of shit that be happening behind the scenes that happened before I even got to the scene. So it's you know what I'm saying? So it'd be like, I'm on the fence. And because I don't really be knowing what's going on, I be in the blind. So it's like, but man, listen, I'm a hooper. If TNC need to see me, I'm available. I'm there. They got something going on. I'm there. They want line lighting up, see him get killed. I'm there.
See him
Like
get killed.
whatever
Is
they
crazy.
want to do.
That'd
Like
be a good
whoever
game.
that
I ain't
want to
gonna
see me,
care.
I'm there.
He
Like
gonna
I
have to
ain't
be in shape
turn.
though. He gonna have to. He gonna have to, cause Latin definitely gonna be in shape. He always in shape. I ain't never seen that nigga not in shape.
The Tennessee down at all.
Yeah.
It's up to Tennessee to pick up the phone and be like, LP, what you doing? You got some.
Hold on. You breaking up a little bit. You muted. You muted. Hold on. You still muted.
You get me?
Now I hear you.
You hear me now?
Yep.
Nah,
Yep.
Ness was calling me.
Yeah.
Ness was calling me. But yeah, man, whoever Tennessee want to do,
Yeah. LP
turn
getting
Tennessee
calls right
down.
now.
I see what's going on. So it's like, shit, set it up, bro. It's lit.
Okay.
It's lit.
I
They
basically
want
get what
this, they
you, I
want this.
basically I get what you're saying now. You wanna be able to freely roam. You wanna be able to
Yeah, I
freely
want to be
roam.
like,
Go
I'm
ahead.
just saying,
Yep.
like, I tell a nigga like this, nigga send me, nigga give me some undeniable shit to where like, hey, sit the fuck down. This is what I got for you. That's different. But like, other than that, I play basketball. Throw that bitch up in the air. They got the fans. I got fans. They got entertainment. You know I'm entertainment. What we gonna do? We gonna get the people a show. We gonna get them what they want to see.
Yeah.
Cause it's a lot of basketball to be played now. There's a lot of basketball to be played. There's a lot of niggas that need to see me. Can't need to see me. He might be a little too fragile, but he need to see me.
Who you
Who?
say,
You know what I'm
Keon?
saying?
Keon,
Yeah.
hey, LP, listen, hey, I love faith, I love T. Keon could go, baby.
He a bad man.
Keon
He
could
okay.
He a
go.
bad man.
Keon could go.
Hey, listen, he's a bad man. He's a bad man. He a bad man, but he a stick man. It's a little different. It's a little different.
Okay.
Now I fuck with him though. I fuck with him though. But like I'm saying, like all us need to be in that room together sometime. I need to see all of them. Cause y'all got Cam over there, T, Latin, Saint. Man, that's killers. You feel me?
Yeah.
I ain't heard one name though. The name. The TNC. Rob Cologne. I ain't heard that name yet. I ain't heard that one. Maybe he know. He can't say that name yet because that's just like, like he just lost to school, or not he just lost, but like, you got to make your way up because he's arguably number one. That's like saying Nas. But like he over there in TNC, and I ain't even heard a whiff of it. Usually, he naming everybody in TNC except one nigga. That's what I'm saying.
The link with killers, so it's however we need to figure it out and
He
get it
talking
done.
about he trying to expand his range and shit. Like how he used to be shooting. I ain't saying he ain't shoot like that before. Shit, you see who doing it now?
Let's do it, cause the YouTube scene deserve to see it. The basketball fans deserve to see it. You deserve to see it.
Yeah.
Everybody. So it's like, however we need to do it and get it done. I ain't never telling nobody, no, I'm not gonna play basketball though. I ain't gonna never be that guy. So it's never gonna be on me. So however we need to get it done, let's do it.
How you feel about what you got coming up with Deontay Burton and your boy KB?
Oh, I love it. I ain't gonna lie, I love my team because Deontay Burton, I know for sure he's a dog.
Let him know.
KB's a dog.
Let him know who Deontay, who Burton is. He might not know.
Man, I'm not gonna lie.
Who that is?
NBA athleticism, and you know NBA athleticism is the best in the world. That's what he is.
NBA.
He dog on defense. Like he just a real bulldog. So I ain't gonna lie. When they asked me like, man, you want him on your team? Hell yeah. Like it was a no brainer. Cause I'm looking at teams. You know how they got the teams lined down. Whenever I play against somebody and I got a team, my first thing in my mind be like defense. When we go 3-on-3, can all us switch?
Yeah.
And nobody be the wink link. Cause that be the biggest thing. That's what I noticed about this scene in this space. They be finding the mismatches. So the team I got, you look at KB, he's 6'3", 6'4". You look at Burton, 6'3", 6'4", and they both NBA athleticism. And you look around, LP the worst defender on the team. And I was like, if LP the worst defender on the team, it's a great defensive team because I lock shit.
Yeah.
So it's like that's what I look for in my teammates. You know what I'm saying? I don't really trip off the offense too much. It's like, man, as long as you play hard, I feel like you always got a chance.
Yeah.
So I ain't gonna lie, I got two dogs, bro.
Have they told y'all like the layout of the series? Is it 1s, 2s, and 3s? Like how that shit
It's
work?
got some ones, some tag team ones, 2v2s, 3-on-3s. There's a lot of shit going on.
Oh, that's gonna be
Sure.
good. But they got bread for every time you get a win.
That, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think so. Not for every game. Then we got like we got our parents' fee. You know what I'm saying? Shit
Yeah.
that everybody was guaranteed. So I think for sure everybody leaves some paper. Like everybody leaves some paper guaranteed.
I want to too. How you feel about they got this next quick creator court coming up, man? You got Frank Nitty Fambi and Bino.
Damn,
Bino a
bro.
bad boy.
Boy.
Bro, how many times Nesquik? I thought Nesquik do that shit once a year. This shit looking like it's more and more frequent. I could have sworn it was once a year. Am I tripping? Shit.
Boy.
Hey, that's a bad man. Bino a bad boy.
Boy. Boy.
Bino tough.
Hey, that's a bad man right there, bro.
Bino tough.
Boy was killing with the Detroit
Athletic.
Imps.
Yes. But then you got Frank with the fucking wisdom, being around the game so long, understanding this shit. And the longevity he have, like the knowledge, you can't take it away from him.
No.
Like, you can never count him out. And then you got Fambi, who always coming out with that age, like he hungry, crazy shot maker. So like, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like that'll be real exciting to see who come out on top.
No. I need prediction, nigga. I need prediction.
Oh, who I think gonna win?
Yeah, I need prediction.
I don't know, gang. I really don't know. I really don't know.
I'm going Bino.
And I'm not mad at that. That's what I'm saying. I'm not mad at that. But I just can't.
Bro.
I ain't gonna lie, because Bino is a little bigger than them too, though.
Yeah. He could shoot it, bro.
He got game. He just got game. Like he just got game. I ain't gonna cap. So like, I don't know, but like, as far as
I think we don't seen enough. But I just seen on Rob Instagram, he got a new YouTube video out.